is Larry Jackson. Slowly putting up posts related to what I do. Hopefully, I'll start doing some interviews this year. So we'll see what happens. Um, while I'm trying to do this while I'm busy. I don't know whether I have enough time to put posts, but I do. I should. So that's what I'm doing right now. Um, and I guess I want to talk in general about what I do, my philosophy, um, as it relates to mental health, particularly relationship coaching, which is what I'm sort of heavy into right now. A concept that I think I want to just briefly talk about is when two people disagree in a relationship. Um, I see a lot of clients, and one of that becomes a primary topic when I am doing relationship coaching or relationship counseling. And this is my commentary on that. When two people disagree, um, one of the things that I highlight at some point in time is that everybody has their truth that has to be respected in a relationship. A couple of premise points that I use for that point is the idea that you have your truth, they have their truth, and then there is the truth. And neither one of those three solely by itself is the ultimate thing that you want to lean on. In other words, just because I have the truth, even as a mediator between two individuals, that does not mean I invalidate the other two truths that are being presented when there's a problem or dilemma. And the reason why I do that is because primarily as it relates to feelings, and this is my other premise as it relates to it is that I argue that facts can be argued, feelings can't, and that even if feelings are irrational, they still have to be solved in a relationship. So just because I have a perception or I have a feeling that creates that perception, belief, thought, that does not mean that just because it's irrational that it gets automatically ignored, because I still have to deal with that. It's the baggage that I bring into whatever we're talking about, that still has to be solved. So even if a person has more logic, even if the other person has more logic as it relates to whatever the disagreement is, they're going to find themselves climbing up a hill with regards to how they convey that point across if they completely deny or they don't problem solve whatever emotion the other partner is feeling. And in this circumstance, if it's irrational. So, well, Larry, what's the solution to that? The solution to that is when you have two individuals and they have different truths, their perspectives, and neither one is 100% accurate, you lean towards the emotion and you try to problem solve the emotion. And you attempt to solve the emotion by taking the affirmative in the narrative of the emotion. You assume that if this is correct, how do we solve this moving forward? And so you problem solve the emotion, and you make it present. You make it present forward rather than present backwards. And a lot of times our negative emotions with regards to our perceptions about things tend to want to go present backwards. You did this, therefore this is your fault. But that really doesn't solve anything. It helps lay out something, but both individuals can disagree on who did what and how they did it based off of their perception. And so the easy hack to that in a relationship is ignore the facts. Whatever a person is saying, go straight to the emotion. Okay, how does this make you feel? And how do I not make you feel that way going forward? And sometimes that means taking the affirmative in the argument and saying, okay, if I did that wrong, how do I change that going forward? And having enough humility to adjust and change even to an irrational emotion, with the idea that if the emotional expression or the perception is not too far-fetched, that maybe there can be a resolute or solution going forward in my adjustment that does not completely diminish, my sense of self or my morality or my beliefs or, who I am as a person. I've never not seen not a win-win in that situation where individuals are not able to adjust and adapt, even based off of solving an irrational emotion or an irrational or untrue perception, if that makes any sense. It, in those times when there is that irrational emotion and it's obvious that their truth is just blatantly, what do they call it? Subjectively? Is it subjective or objectively? It's just obvious that they're in grave error. I always like to say that you never really want to call that out unless there's overwhelming evidence that to that person. I mean, in order to win that case with a person who has that perception, it has to be obvious to that person, and that becomes a difficult task of explaining and contending and reasoning with. That is useful, but it wouldn't be my first go-to when I talk about resolving unsolvable conflict between two individuals. So, anyways, that's my little tidbit from the peanut gallery on my end, just offering some hopefully useful information for people going forward. The question or thing that I was trying to answer today in my commentary is how to solve unsolvable conflict between two individuals. And I hope I did it justice. So if I didn't, I'll probably post another post that maybe you'll explain it better. So anyways, you guys have a great day. God bless. Talk to you next time. Bye now.